Ever feel like you're running on a treadmill, working harder and harder, but your financial situation just isn't changing? You get a raise, you feel a rush of excitement, and then, poof, it's gone. New expenses magically appear, and you're right back where you started. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. I want to tell you a story about a guy named Alex. His story might sound a lot like yours, and it holds the key to breaking this frustrating cycle for good. Alex was the definition of a hard worker. He was smart, dedicated, and climbed the corporate ladder with impressive speed. His income grew year after year. From the outside, he was the picture of success. He had the nice apartment, the new car, the latest gadgets. He was living the life, or so it seemed. But behind closed doors, Alex felt a constant, nagging anxiety. Despite his high income, he felt financially fragile. One unexpected car repair or medical bill was all it would take to throw his entire life into chaos. He was earning more than ever, but he wasn't getting any wealthier. He was trapped. Alex's biggest mistake was a simple one, yet it's a trap that millions of people fall into. He confused income with wealth. He thought that because he was making a lot of money, he was rich. But he wasn't. He was just a high-earning consumer. Every time his paycheck increased, so did his spending. A bigger salary meant a more expensive car loan. A bonus meant a fancier vacation. He was buying things that took money out of his pocket every month. In financial terms, he was acquiring liabilities, not assets. His car wasn't an asset. It was a liability that depreciated in value while costing him money in payments, insurance, and maintenance. His designer clothes weren't assets, they were just expenses. He had built a beautiful, expensive cage for himself. The turning point for Alex didn't come from a stock market tip or a get-rich-quick scheme. It came one quiet Tuesday night. He was sitting at his kitchen table, staring at a pile of bills. The numbers just didn't add up. He was making 6 figures, yet he was living paycheck to paycheck. Frustration boiled over into a moment of pure clarity. He finally understood. He had been working for money his entire life, but he had never, ever made his money work for him. It was a profound, earth-shattering realization. It wasn't about how much he earned. It was about what he did with what he earned. That night, Alex's journey to true wealth began. It wasn't a sprint. It was a fundamental shift in his entire mindset. He grabbed a notebook and wrote down a new rule for himself. Before I buy anything, I will ask, is this an asset or a liability? Will this put money into my pocket or take money out of it? This simple question changed everything. He stopped looking at his paycheck as a fund for spending and started seeing it as a collection of seeds. Seeds he could plant to grow a forest of financial freedom. His first step was brutal but necessary. He had to drastically cut back on the liabilities. He sold his expensive car and bought a reliable, used one for a fraction of the price. He cancelled subscriptions he barely used. He started cooking at home instead of eating out every night. It wasn't glamorous. It took discipline. Some of his friends even made fun of him, wondering why the successful Alex was suddenly living like a college student. But Alex had a vision. Every dollar he saved wasn't just a dollar. It was a soldier he could send out into the world to fight for his financial future. With the money he freed up, Alex started his education. He didn't just throw money at the stock market. He devoured books on investing, personal finance, and wealth creation. He learned the difference between speculating and investing. He studied business models and learned how to read a balance sheet. He realized that an asset is anything that generates income without him having to actively work for it. This could be stocks that pay dividends, a rental property that generates monthly cash flow, or a stake in a profitable business. His first real asset purchase was small. He started by investing a few $100s each month into a low-cost index fund. It wasn't exciting. He wasn't checking the stock price every 5 minutes. He was simply planting his seeds consistently, month after month. This is the power of long-term investing. It's not about timing the market. It's about time in the market. He automated his investments, so the money was put to work before he even had the chance to think about spending it. This small act of discipline was the first brick in his new foundation. Next, Alex focused on cash flow. He understood that wealth isn't just a big number in a bank account. It's about having more money coming in than going out, month after month. He saved up for a down payment on a small condo in a nearby college town. He did his homework, ran the numbers, and made sure that after the mortgage, taxes, and insurance, the rent would leave him with a few $100s of positive cash flow each month. This was a game changer. For the first time, he was earning money while he slept. It was a small stream of income, but it was his. He had created an asset. The journey wasn't a straight line up. There were moments of doubt. A market downturn made his portfolio dip, and a plumbing issue at the rental property ate up his cash flow for 3 months. It was tempting to panic, to sell everything and go back to the safety of his paycheck. But his mindset was different now. He saw these as learning experiences, not failures. He understood that building wealth involves risk and patience. He stayed the course, reminding himself of his long-term vision. He wasn't just building a portfolio, he was buying his freedom. Years went by. Alex continued to live below his means, consistently investing the difference. That single index fund grew. He used the cash flow from his first rental property to help save for a second, then a third. He even started a small online business on the side, creating another stream of income. He was no longer just Alex, the employee. He was Alex, the investor. Alex, the business owner. His assets were now working harder than he was. The passive income from his investments and properties started to grow, eventually matching his expenses. Then, one day, it surpassed them. This was the moment he had been working for. The moment of financial independence. It didn't mean he had to quit his job. He actually enjoyed his work more now because the pressure was off. He worked because he wanted to, not because he had to. The anxiety that used to haunt him was replaced by a sense of calm and control. He had the freedom to choose. He could take a lower-paying job he was more passionate about, travel the world for a year, or dedicate his time to a cause he believed in. He had bought back his time, the most valuable asset of all. Looking back, Alex realized that the most important investment he ever made wasn't in stocks or real estate. It was the investment he made in his own financial education and the shift in his own mind. He learned that true wealth has very little to do with how much money you make. It's about your habits, your discipline, and your mindset. It's about understanding the simple but powerful difference between an asset and a liability. It's about having the patience to plant seeds and the discipline to let them grow. So if you feel like you're stuck on that financial treadmill, remember Alex's story. The cage you might feel trapped in is not built of steel bars, but of financial habits and limiting beliefs, and you hold the key. It starts with a single question: is this putting money in my pocket or taking it out? It starts with a single decision: to make your money work for you instead of you working for it. The path isn't easy, but it is simple. And it begins, not in your bank account, but in your mind. True wealth is a mindset before it ever becomes a number. Start building that mindset today. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content to help you on your own financial journey. We'll see you in the next video.